Go back.
This is Kiana and Ronell Burns, a well-known Atlanta business power couple who, from the outside, seem to have it all. A married couple, 8 children, multiple businesses, faith, wealth, and influence. Their social media painted a flawless image: luxury cars, designer bags, motivational speeches, and constant messages about God, entrepreneurship, and building generational wealth. To many, they were the definition of success, the kind of marriage people aspired to have. But behind the carefully curated posts and smiling videos, something was quietly unraveling.
Me and Callie, baby, we're going back to our old days. Pyro love, baby. Oh!
The music going out because he's leaving. We got our music, but we can't.
We out here. We dancing in our head. We got the music in our head. Party time.
Go ahead.
Hey, 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 hey.
On November 6th in Atlanta, Georgia, what looked like a couple goals marriage would end in sudden and devastating violence. Late that night, police received a frantic 911 call, not from a neighbor, not from a friend, but from the couple's teenage child. When officers arrived at the home, they were met with a heartbreaking and unthinkable scene. Earlier that very same day, Kiana had been on social media, smiling, dancing, and laughing with one of her daughters. Nothing seemed out of place. But by the end of the night, both 44-year-old Kiana Burns and her 46-year-old husband, Ronell Burns, would be dead, having allegedly killed each other after the exposure of long-hidden secrets. So what could possibly push a successful, faith-driven couple admired by thousands online to turn on each other in the most final way imaginable? Before we dive into the heart-stopping events that took both lives, let's rewind and take a look at how a love story, seemingly full of promise, turned into something no one could have ever predicted.
Yes, please.
Glass of wine, please. For my
Sis,
cousin. Celebrating.
video, 8 years.
8 years together, 6 years married. In the hot tub in LA.
That's right, baby.
With our best friends and our family.
Yay.
Celebrating with us. Here's to 8 years of putting up with me.
Yes, yes.
Oh, love y'all too. Look at me, I love y'all too.
Kiana Burns was born on September 15, 1977 in St. Louis, Missouri. She was educated in the Riverview Gardens School District, where she later graduated from Riverview Gardens High School. Kiana had shown ambition and determination right from when she was little. She pursued a career in cosmetology and eventually earned her degree, setting the foundation for what would become a long and successful professional journey. But Kiana soon went on to open her own business, Critique Design's beauty and barber salon. Over the course of 25 years, she invested immense time and effort into growing the business. Her work ethic paid off. Critique Designs eventually became one of the largest beauty and barber salons in the entire St. Louis area. Family members described Kiana as a hard worker, a loving mother, and a devoted wife. She had 3 children from a previous relationship whom she loved deeply and was known to be a very present and nurturing parent to. Beyond motherhood, she was also described as someone who encouraged women, someone who mentored others and pushed people to pursue success. When Kiana met 46-year-old Ronell Dwight Burns, 46, she was already an established businesswoman with a strong sense of purpose. Ronell Burns was born on May 14, 1975, also in St. Louis, Missouri. He attended and graduated from Vashon High School, where he was a member of the 1994 state championship basketball team. Ronell was known for being ambitious, competitive, and highly motivated, with what many described as the mindset of a winner. At a young age, Ronell committed his life to Christian faith and became active in ministry. He spent years speaking publicly, encouraging others, and sharing messages about perseverance, purpose, and reliance on God through hardship. As his life progressed, Ronell transitioned into the financial sector. He became an insurance agent and financial solutions advisor, eventually founding Legacy Financial Solutions, a company aimed at helping families achieve financial independence. According to those who knew him, Ronell was very successful in his business and deeply committed to helping others build wealth and security.
They put us on the pilot program for the field training observation bonus. And when they put us on that, we went from 30,000 to 50,000 to 70,000 to 100,000, and this one we'll do about 180. Oh, and you're going to check everything now. We got more than that, 2 grand almost, right? He told about sales on base up, that's the first time I want to be at 10. But that be like, we'll $10 on base up here. But when we bring them in, guys, we get them focused on what they came for, which is the money. And the field training observation bonus helps you go grow your distribution and your licensing. But if you ain't having that conversation with them, how in the world are you going to grow anything? Because you already got what you get, which is more premium, but that premium ain't being supported with growth. Every month, really, you should be looking forward to your business moving to the next level production-wise. And you can only move in production if you ain't spiking it and it's supported by licensing.
Ronell had 4 children from a previous relationship. When Kiana and Ronell married, they blended their families, creating a household of 8 children. It didn't take long for the couple to take a major step in their relationship. By September 13, 2012, Kiana and Ronell Burns were married. Together, they merged not only their families, but also their business ambitions. They became partners in entrepreneurship, launching initiatives such as Six Figure Ambition, a company focused on teaching financial literacy, leveraged income, and wealth-building strategies. Publicly, they presented themselves as a united front. They were motivational speakers, business mentors, and faith-driven leaders.
No hands going up. How many times the CEO let you into his office and say, hey, come on, sit right here. I'm going to teach you exactly how to get where I am. Well, this next young man has raised up agents all over the country, right? Phenomenal teacher.
They often spoke about marriage, perseverance, and overcoming adversity. Their social media content highlighted luxury purchases, success milestones, and family moments. Kiana, in particular, appeared to live a life of abundance.
Yep. It's the early Valentine's Day gifts for me, baby. Thanks to my love. Ew.
She shared moments of receiving expensive gifts, including a Maserati Levant from Ronell, and posting images of high-end designer purchases.
Y'all, look what my husband did. This man outdid himself this time, baby. Check my new baby out. Check her out, y'all. That's that Levante. That's that Maserati truck. Y'all heard that engine? Yeah, he did this. God is good. Thank you.
To many watching from the outside, the Burns family represented stability, faith, and prosperity. However, what was visible online did not fully reflect what was happening behind closed doors. After spending most of their lives in Missouri, Kiana and Ronell made a second major decision. They moved to Atlanta, Georgia with plans to expand their businesses. Kiana intended to grow Critique Designs, while Ronell focused on expanding his insurance and financial clientele. Despite appearances, the move was not easy. Both Kiana and Ronell later acknowledged that their marriage had been under strain. Ronell openly shared that they had seriously discussed divorce months earlier. According to his own words, there was a point when they felt done with each other.
And the story I'm about to share with you guys was the story from about, I don't know, let's say, I guess about 7 months ago, something like that. 7 months, 6, 7 months ago, when my wife and myself, we decided we was going to get a divorce, that we ain't want to be with each other no more. We was just done with each other. And so, and it took me back to 6 months ago when Kiana and I decided that we didn't want to be with each other no more, and some of the things that transpired. And so I remember like it was yesterday. We talking about, we just didn't want to do this no more. She was tired of me, I was tired of her. We was gonna go on about our business. And as we sat in the truck and we said, hey, you know what, if we're gonna get a divorce, let's be civil. We got kids, we got businesses. We said, well, let's just sit down and just talk about how this all gonna work out. Meaning from a business aspect. We didn't talk about why we should stay together. We love each other. None of that conversation was being had. We was done with each other. And so all we talked about, we said, okay, well, listen. We done with each other. We both came to that conclusion, but let's not impact everybody's life that's around us because we just decided we don't want to be together no more. Let's not do that. So I said, let's have a conversation. And we took out a piece of paper, we drew a line down the middle of it, and we talked about how the business was going to go, how we was going to divide the business. And she go her way and I go my way, but we didn't want to compromise and jeopardize everybody else's future because we was tripping. Let's not destroy our businesses. Let's not tear each other's name down. Let's not do none of that because there's kids, there's family members, there's moms and everything that we plan on retiring one day. And just because we decided we don't like each other no more, we're going to forfeit all that. We're going to mess up that for everybody. No, we got to figure out a way how we can work together, be divorced, go our separate ways. Know at some point we're going to get remarried to somebody else, but sustain what we promised the people that's dependent on us and keep that thing going. And when we got through having that conversation, we wrote everything down and we had it mapped out to a T how we was going to continue those businesses on an individual basis, but still reach that common goal and forget about everything else. And we see by the time the night had reached us, God had changed our heart. And I start thinking back to Jesus when he was on the cross. And Jesus on the cross, and the same very people that he was dying for, he pierced them in the side and he wanted to quit and he wanted to give up. He didn't want to go further. He looked up to heaven and he told his father, he said, listen, if there's any other way, he said, if there's any other way, God, remove this cup from my head. In other words, let somebody else do this. It got to be a better way than me getting on this cross and dying for everybody. Said it got to be a different way that we can save the earth. He said, but nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. Nevertheless, not my will. In other words, so he went through trials, he went through hardship, and it didn't even feel good to Jesus going through the persecution and the tribulations. But he was focused on why he was put here on earth in the first place. And I think that's one of the biggest keys to our success is that in spite of what we go through, see, people think our life just been rosy, and it ain't rosy now. We got a better marriage than we ever had, but our life ain't rosy. We got crap that's happening. If I get on here and tell you about all the crap that's going on in our life, you'll say, I feel sorry for them. But we don't want nobody to feel sorry for us.
Instead of discussing reconciliation, their conversations focused on dividing businesses, maintaining civility, and protecting the futures of their children and employees. Although they eventually decided to continue working together and remain married, but the tension had not disappeared. Kiana herself hinted publicly that she was struggling emotionally. In a live video shared months after the move, she openly spoke about life changes, transitions, and the emotional weight she was carrying.
Hey. What's up, y'all? Hey, Kimberly. Hey, y'all. How y'all day going? Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Michael Cohen? How you doing, brother? Now, y'all know I don't be doing this Facebook Live stuff. I just felt the need to hop on here for just a moment, not long at all, and kind of just talk about, you know, life changes. For those that don't know, about 5-6 months ago, my husband and myself, we moved to Atlanta to expand our business. But look, y'all, I'm telling you, if you don't stay prayed up and you don't keep faith, things can swivel in and take you out. I'm telling you, you guys, like, the transition, it wasn't necessarily a smooth one. It wasn't a hard one either, but it was something that we chose to do. And when you come to a new state or city and you're trying to learn people and you're trying to learn, you know, the things that they do, and that could be challenging. And coming here with our kids, just us and our kids, you know, it's just us, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got nobody. We can't drop the kids off at our kinfolk's house. We can't go, you know. So right now my husband is, you know, at a retreat. I stayed back due to because we have our children here. However, you all, I just want to talk about her because you have to be prepared for life changes, no matter what it is that's taking place. And I'm trying to encourage someone, because things in your life can change for the good or the bad overnight, literally. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't feel like you're a strong enough individual, some things may take you out. Social media, I just can't stand it. It gets on my nerves. People this, that. But I'm telling you, it's some strong sisters and brothers on social media that keep me going some days. Like, real talk. I have some very positive people that's on my timeline, and they help me through my gloomy days, because yes, I do have them. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, if I'm being totally, perfectly honest, I'm having one right now. And the reason I'm going live is because sometimes you got to reach out and tell people that you need love, you need support, you need care, you just need a hug. And honestly, you guys, I need that. I need that right now. I mentor so many women. I encourage so many women. I pump life and positivity in so many women. But sometimes I need that myself. And God knows right now, I need that, you all.
She admitted she was having a difficult time adjusting, acknowledged feelings of gloom, and stated she needed love, support, and encouragement. Despite mentoring others and projecting strength, Kiana admitted she was not okay. But what no one anticipated was for the situation to escalate to murder. On November 6th, just 6 months after moving to Atlanta, everything came to a sudden and devastating end. Earlier that same day, Kiana appeared on social media, smiling and dancing with one of her daughters. To friends and followers, she seemed joyful, engaged, and very much immersed in family life. It was a moment that reflected warmth and normalcy.
Go, mommy. That's my mommy. That's my mommy. And that's my mommy. And that's my mommy. And that's my...
Go Ryan, go Ryan, go baby, go baby, go baby, go baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. Go Ryan, go Ryan.
But only hours later, that image would be shattered. By evening, chaos erupted. Authorities were dispatched to the Burns residence after receiving a 911 call, not from a neighbor, not from a friend, but from the couple's teenage child. When officers arrived at the home, they were met with a heartbreaking and unthinkable scene. Earlier that very same day, Kiana had been on social media, smiling, dancing, and laughing with one of her daughters. Nothing seemed out of place. But by the end of the night, both 44-year-old Kiana Burns and her 46-year-old husband, Ronell Burns, would be dead, having allegedly killed each other after the exposure of long-hidden secrets. So what could possibly push a successful, faith-driven couple admired by thousands online to turn on each other in the most final way imaginable? Once the news broke about the tragic deaths of Kiana and Ronell Burns, questions quickly began to surface. How did a couple that seemed so successful, so in love, and so involved in their community end up in such a horrific and deadly outcome in their home? The investigation into the murders began immediately after police arrived at the scene of the Burns residence. While the initial reports were grim, both Kiana and Ronell were confirmed dead. Authorities soon uncovered some chilling details that would shed light on what led to that fateful day. From the moment the authorities started their investigation, they quickly learned that the situation was not as simple as a random act of violence. This was not a robbery gone wrong, nor was it an outside threat. The murder of Ronell Burns had been the result of a domestic issue that had been building for some time between Kiana and her husband. According to neighbors who later spoke to the press, the Burns family had been experiencing significant tension in the months leading up to the incident. Though the couple presented a picture-perfect life on social media, behind the scenes their relationship was strained. Kiana had confessed in several instances that their marriage was going through tough times. She shared with her followers how the move to Atlanta had been particularly challenging for her. She mentioned feeling isolated without family nearby to support her and the children. Despite these struggles, Kiana continued to maintain her public persona, sharing motivational content and messages about personal growth. But the cracks in her relationship with Ronell were apparent. Some speculated that these tensions had reached a boiling point in the weeks leading up to the murder. Ronell, for his part, had been open about their struggles as well. In one of his public addresses, he admitted that their marriage was on the verge of breaking down. He spoke candidly about the time they had seriously considered divorce, but both he and Kiana had decided to move forward with civility for the sake of their children and businesses. This openness, however, only masked the deeper emotional turmoil and resentment that had been building between them. When the incident unfolded, social media erupted with speculation. The shocking news spread rapidly, leaving many stunned and searching for answers. At first, there was no clear motive, but theories began to circulate almost immediately. Some claimed that Kiana had been driven to kill her husband after discovering infidelity, while others insisted the couple had been drowning in debt and that Ronell was a con man who had ultimately deceived her. The pressure of dealing with these unresolved financial issues may have built up over time. The combination of his past behavior, financial stress, and unresolved emotional issues with Kiana created a dangerous mix, one that ultimately led to the fatal confrontation. Further investigation into Ronell Burns revealed a troubling history that many were unaware of. While he presented himself as a successful businessman and a man of faith, Ronell had a history of violence and financial mismanagement. Their search uncovered troubling details, including his appearance on an episode of Divorce Court, where his former wife accused him of being a chronic cheater. She alleged that his reckless financial decisions had destroyed her credit and left her struggling long after their marriage ended. Following that divorce, Ronell appeared to turn his life around. He remarried, embraced faith, and presented himself as a changed man. To those who knew him later, he seemed to have left his past behind. Yet questions lingered. Was this transformation genuine or merely a facade? And more importantly, did any of these unresolved issues play a role in the tragic events that led to his death? Detectives continued to investigate, piecing together the fragments of a complicated story. While social media buzzed with theories and accusations, the truth remained elusive, leaving the community unsettled and desperate for clarity. The brutal nature of the couple's death was unbelievable to the local community, particularly in the area where Kiana and Ronell Burns had lived and worked. They had long been seen as a power couple, entrepreneurs who had built businesses together and had successfully merged their families. They had shared their story of hard work, dedication, and ambition with the world, and their seemingly perfect life made the violence all the more unfathomable. For friends and family, the pain was unimaginable. Kiana and Ronell's children are left without a mother or a father, and those who were closest to them struggled to comprehend how something so tragic could have happened to someone so full of life and potential. People who knew Kiana described her as a devoted mother, a successful businesswoman, and a loving partner. She was always working hard to provide for her family and to create a better future for her children. Her untimely death left many feeling a deep sense of loss and sorrow. Her friends, family, and community felt as though they had lost someone who had so much more to offer. Social media posts and tributes flooded in from people who had been touched by her kindness, strength, and perseverance. There were countless comments from those who had followed her journey, offering their condolences and mourning the loss of someone they admired. As the details of Kiana's death came to light, many people began to draw attention to the deeper issue of domestic violence. While Kiana and Ronell appeared to have it all together on the outside, their relationship was marked by hidden struggles and unresolved tension. Several friends and family members revealed that Kiana had been conflicted about her relationship with Ronell for quite some time. She had even considered divorce but had been reluctant to make the decision, not wanting to disrupt her family life or cause any further strain. Tragically, those internal struggles culminated in the violent events of November 6th. Kiana and Ronell had built a successful empire together. They ran businesses, including Kiana's Critique Designs beauty and barber salon and their Primerica insurance business. Their businesses had thrived, and their success was often celebrated publicly. But Kiana's sudden death left these businesses in jeopardy. While it's not clear what would happen to the businesses, the tragedy added another layer of pain for the children Kiana left behind. They would not only have to deal with the trauma of losing their mother, but also the uncertainty of what would happen to the legacy their parents had created together. Despite this uncertainty, Kiana's friends and family vowed to ensure that her legacy would live on. They pledged to support her children through this difficult time, helping them to navigate life without the woman who had been their rock. The support from the community was heartwarming, with people coming together to provide emotional, financial, and logistical support for the family during the aftermath of the murder. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.